All right, awesome. So today we're going to be talking about innovating with serverless. Serverless Guru, your guide to serverless. So first up, a little bit about me. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's at Ryan Jones IRL. I'm the founder of Serverless Guru, host of Talking Serverless podcast, author of Serverless Zero to Paid Professional, which is about a 90-plus video course on learning serverless development on AWS. I'm also 5 times AWS certified person, I guess. I've been working as an actual serverless developer for more than 4 years and started my career in the Nike Innovation Engineering Department, where I was helping building back-end serverless solutions on AWS for machine learning workloads. I live in Puerto Rico currently, surf, skateboard, skydive, all that fun stuff. English, and a little bit of Espanol, still learning, of course. So that's a little bit about me. Getting into Serverless Guru, we are a leading software development consulting company that helps clients build production-grade serverless applications on AWS. We have 30-plus consultants globally. We actually have 3 people here that are based out of Brazil that are representing Serverless Guru here at TDC. We're AWS Advanced Consulting Partners with service deliveries with AWS Lambda, DynamoDB, and API Gateway. We're a specialist at leveraging cutting-edge cloud services to build modern apps. So that's a little bit about us. So some stuff about my philosophy about serverless and innovating with serverless is the idea of focusing on product. So at the very bottom, you can see on-prem. So on-premises data centers, you can think about it that way, racks of servers stacked up where we're running application software on top of. That would be, in my opinion, the least focused on product. Next up above that is virtual machines, then containers, and then finally serverless, which in my opinion is the most focused on product. As you move up that stack, it gets more and more abstracted. And at the very top, you only worry about your code a lot more, of course. Obviously, nothing is that simple. But when you're thinking about virtual machines, you're not thinking about your core product, and that's what this talk is about. So this is a very jarring slide, but the very top, you can see what customers actually see is your application UI. What's happening in the background to make your app work, CI/CD, containers, scripts, virtual machines, application code, load balancers, all that fun stuff, everything that goes into the soup to make these applications run. In my opinion, your customers don't care about that, right? They don't see it. How could they possibly understand or know or care about something they can't actually interact with? What they want is performance. They want new features. They want the thing that you're building to be competitive with other products on the market, and they care about that. And so whatever allows them to do that fastest and at the same level of quality, that's sort of what we're talking about today. How do we spend more time on what customers care about and less time on everything else? Focus on product. How do we do that? We adopt technology that enables less time on setup, maintenance, and operations. And how do we do that? We abstract everything we can that is not our core product. So by doing this, we're going to reduce the amount of stuff that we're doing on a day-to-day basis and the amount of knobs, dials, et cetera, that we're having to turn in favor of doing the things that the customers are actually going to see and appreciate and spend most of our time on that. So why does this help? We stop burning time on non-differentiating work and reinvest time into innovation. So we don't lose that time. We actually get to reuse it for other things. So instead of writing some patch script that runs through virtual machines, trying to update it because some Spectre meltdown thing takes place, we can then take all that time and stress and energy and hopefully save some developers from leaving the company in the process of all that and put it into more innovative stuff that customers are going to see and appreciate. So what are we all chasing, right? Happier customers, that's my opinion. Happier customers. And what else are we chasing? New revenue streams, right? It's a business. We're making Netflix gets money from subscriptions. They make new movies. They get more users, developers. Everybody's fed. It's all great. Also, optimizing inefficiencies, right? So when we find inefficiencies, we optimize away from them and that allows us also to stay competitive. So those are the things that we care about. What else, right? Faster development cycles. The faster that we can build things, the faster our customers can see it, give feedback, and then we can iterate on it, and we can move into what is commonly called blue ocean strategy. Blue ocean strategy is basically moving so far off into the distance away from competitors that they don't actually have the ability to even compare you side by side. And you can only do that by iterating very quickly, right? And also happier devs, right? Developers want to work on new stuff. They want to work on stuff that's interesting and fun. They want to avoid tedious activities. And by using something like serverless, we're doing that more often. Also, a culture that attracts top talent. And that's really important because in such a market that we have globally, developers can go anywhere they want. So why should they work for you, right? And that's a conversation that is more two-way now than it's ever been, and that's a good thing. So what is the silver bullet? In my opinion, serverless. And what does serverless mean? Less time on servers, more time on product. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Serverless is a cost-effective way to build and run applications without having to manage servers. And when it's not running, you don't pay for anything. On top of that, it's abstraction layers. It's the most recent one. This always happens. We figure out a way to do things in a more streamlined, automated way, and we just kind of plug into those new things. So how do I start, right? Maybe this is interesting. Maybe I touched on a couple of pain points, and you're curious about how you could actually start doing this at your company. The first one, and this is the most important, is how do you pick up a new technology and then not burn out in the process, right? Not take on so much, eat the elephant all at once. No, you want to eat it one bite at a time. To do that, you want to start small. Quick wins, scale up gradually, which will give you leadership confidence without kind of burning everybody in the process. And so the way that we've seen this happen, I've got a podcast I do called the Talking Serverless podcast. I interviewed Sheen Bristles, who's one of the top people at Lego.com that uses serverless, and they talk about this strategy a lot, is let's look at an entire platform and let's split it up into separate individual API paths. Let's take one path and let's turn that serverless, and let's leave the other ones as they are, and then basically make that one path work, get leadership confidence in it, and then if that is a successful initiative, then move to the next one and so on and just keep replicating. Also, you want to build a serverless acceleration team internally. This is super important. This team is going to be the core foundation to actually scaling this out at your company. They're going to be responsible for patterns, training, helping developers, support, etc. And this is something that we've seen happen at most companies that adopt serverless. To some level, they have an equivalent of a serverless acceleration team. The third thing, which obviously self-plug, I'm sure you expected it, bring in outside expertise as you need it. There's an asterisk there. I would obviously love to work with all of you, but the big but here being that if you've already got people internally that have cloud experience and you want to take this on yourself, do it. It's totally worth it. However, if you have 30 plus developers and you have to roll this out in a way that it needs to work the first time, it has to be a successful initiative, then bring in outside expertise. Could be Serverless Guru, could be someone else. A couple things about what we do for clients. We help with consulting. So this is everything from helping with the actual roadmap to saying, hey, Ryan, we've got this big app we want to turn serverless, we want to migrate it, or we want to build out a greenfield project. How do we do that? And we kind of help define each one of those steps. Development-wise, we'll integrate into your team, or we'll be your team. So whichever one makes the most sense for your company. Training as well. Obviously, training is sort of a byproduct. When you start introducing a new technology and you have to get developers that are already existing, the biggest thing is you don't want to replace people. You want to make sure that the domain knowledge inside of the company is retained. And to do that in the best way, you make sure everybody is part of that conversation, each individual developer. And through that, you can really scale this thing out to be successful. We have a few tracks, as was mentioned, serverless in production coming up tomorrow. So definitely check that out. Here's a couple of the things we'll be talking about here. So web components, microservices. We have a serverless face recognition app. So if you want to learn how to recognize someone's face definitely check out the 1 p.m. talk. Almir I work with very closely on a day-to-day basis, and he is absolute serverless maniac. On the 24th, we have Going Serverless. So we have a few talks here. CloudFormation, Terraform, CDK, the good, the bad, the worst, all the way down to serverless machine learning with Cyril. We just recently hired him out of Douala, Cameroon, and he's an AWS hero as well. Also, we have some awesome stuff happening here with giveaways. So if you listen to our talk that's online, there's going to be a ton of giveaways, and I'll kind of show a little bit about that. We got some Nespresso machines. That's awesome. We've got a board bundle, some Logitech stuff. If you win, it'll be shipped to you. So we don't have it here at the conference, but we do have it in California at the moment. Also, a broadcaster bundle. If you want to do webinars or podcasts or anything like that, we'll have a giveaway for that as well. This is a QR code you can use. On this AWS serverless templates, we have hundreds of templates for building serverless applications on AWS, everything from CI/CD pipelines to machine learning things, to REST APIs, to GraphQL APIs. Just take it, download it, copy it, tailor it to what you need, and then go from there. We also have a serverless training course. This is about 90 videos about how to actually build serverless applications. And then finally, of course, the Talking Serverless podcast, where I interview people. We've done about 50 episodes over the past 2 years, and we do that maybe about once a month still. And with that, that's sort of my talk. If this is interesting to you, you want to talk more, come visit our booth out there. We've got a ton of free stickers. We had T-shirts, but they went like hotcakes. We got rid of them like in 20 minutes. So with that, thank you so much again, and I can stop it there.